your horoscope for 2013, and I want to explain you quickly how to get the best benefit of those videos. I want you always to check the prediction from your ascendant sign. It's not the same as your sun sign. If you can find your ascendant sign by going to my website astrolada.com, where I have a birth chart calculator, and you need to know the exact time of your birth, because this is the most precise prediction for you. This is the real sign that you have, actually, the ascendant sign. And if you know your time of your birth, enter all the details and go below the table, which will show what the degree and the sign of your ascendant is. Mark them down and listen to the whole prediction for your ascendant sign. Also listen to the prediction of the sun and moon sign. You know your sun sign, everyone knows their sun sign. If you're born in April, you're Aries. If you're born in December, you're usually Sagittarius. And the moon sign, which is very personal, it can give you great insight and depth about what is happening psychologically and emotionally within yourself. For some women, the moon horoscope will be much more precise. For men, sometimes the sun sign will be more precise, but always the ascendant sign will be very precise for everyone. And then I want you to listen to the second part of the sun and moon predictions horoscopes, because I give you specific transits there, and they will be overpowering the influence of everything else that I hear. If you hear your exact day of birth, your exact degree of the ascendant or the moon mentioned in the horoscope, then this really will ring a bell for you, and you'll really feel it in that ear. But always listen to the ascendant prediction for the sign. And if you don't know what your time of birth is, then you can contact one of my psychics for just $14, for just $15 and have a reading with them, because they don't need your time of birth. They are amazing. I've headhunted them from all over the world, and they're amazing. They just tell you details, dates, names. It's fantastic what they can do for you without time of birth or date of birth or anything, because they speak directly to, they see images and hear images. So please enjoy. Anyone who has a question, they can contact my psychics on me on my website astrolada.com. Hi Cancer, 2013, what does it hold for you? Well, the big hand of the clock, which is Saturn, which shows where the tests come in our life, will be in your fifth house. Especially if your ascendant is in Cancer, you'll feel it. And fifth house is your creativity. For some of you, your ability to be creative will be tested. It will be a source of focus for you. It will be an important source that you focus and that you learn to control better and be more useful with your creative abilities as well. And for some of you, your creative abilities might turn into a work, might turn into a much more dedicated and disciplined area of focus in your life, because Saturn is about discipline, it's about work, working hard, and fifth house is creativity. So you can transform creative processes into a source of work, into a place of work for yourself. And actually, enjoyable creative adventures like hobbies and having fun, which is all fifth house, can stop giving you so much pleasure and joy. You might feel like it's futile, just wasting time on just enjoying yourself, and you try and make out of this enjoyment time something much more productive and serious that can be useful, rather than just to do it for leisurely time. This is another thing Saturn can do, and if you're a creative person, say you're writing a book, Saturn can help you be very disciplined with your creative energy. And it's not going to be so much of an inspiration coming to you when Saturn is in the fifth house, but you have to force yourself and structure your day if you're doing anything creative, any creative job. So you have to put like 2 or 3 hours every day to do it, and to be very disciplined. Otherwise, the creative flow will be blocked. This is what Saturn can do. And for some of you, Saturn can also fifth house is other creativity, like making children. So for some of you, it can be a blockage there, especially if your ascendant is in Cancer. There might be a blocking of your ability to conceive, for instance. So you might have to wait a little bit for the spirit, or might some problems with pregnancy, but that's in extreme cases. For other people, fifth house symbolizes children. So there might be some problems that you are focused to pay more attention to your children. Maybe the children might be going through some difficulties in their life, through some growing up angst, and you might have to be more, teach them more discipline, teach them more self-control, what Saturn requires, teach them to be more strict with themselves, more disciplined, work harder. And this is what Saturn requires for you children to improve when it's in the fifth house. Or if there is any difficulties and problems coming from your children, Saturn requires that you put more effort and you have a very serious attitude towards them and very mature, disciplined attitude as well. And or just for some people it might mean that your children are maturing and becoming much more their own person, because Saturn has separative influences. Some people might be separating from the children flying away the nest, or there might be even some tension between you and the child, because Saturn can separate you by any problems that you have in your relationship with the children might come to the surface. So you're able to deal better with them and overcome them by the end of this transit in 2014. And fifth house is also your ability to enjoy yourself and have fun. As I said, this might be decreased and more structured, and you might feel like it's wasting time. It's much better that I use this time productively for something useful for me. And it's romance as well. Romance can be a bit blocked when Saturn is around, because it's romance. What it is, it's affirming the self-esteem, the ego, because Saturn, fifth house is the house of self-esteem and the ego, and Saturn can actually create some blockages in the expression of the self-esteem. And or someone can hurt your ego or your self-esteem, and Saturn can really shake up the foundation on which your self-esteem is built. If it's something is, for instance, if your self-esteem is built on your appearance, or if it's built on the fact that you've been the best student till now, that you had a good position in your career, Saturn can shake that by bringing some tests in your life which can make you feel, or by others somehow undermining your ego or testing your ego, or kind of your self-esteem going down and being a bit blocked or being put under the thumb. So you can base your self-esteem on something much more stable and long-lasting. So it's a long process of about 2 years, but a lot of you, by the end of this process, will feel that they respect and love themselves for who they are, based on much more real spiritual values and things that stay for the long term, rather than something superficial like a title, like a career. So some of you might be even experiencing a loss of title, loss of career, loss of the self-esteem that you've had before on what you've been relying, but only to be replaced with something more lasting and more stable, real self-esteem to come into your life. And as we said, flirtation and romance might be, and the joy of those might be decreased a little bit, or they can come with someone who is Saturnian figure, that is someone who is more authoritative or older, more mature, maybe 7 years difference between the two of you. I remember I had a boyfriend when Saturn was passing my fifth house, who was 15 years my senior, so there's something like that. If romance comes, it will be with Saturnian type character. And that's particularly if your ascendant is in Cancer, is very strong. Sun and Moon as well, but not to such an extent. And Jupiter continues to be in your 12th house till the middle of the year. Jupiter is the small hand of the clock, which shows where you grow, where you experience growth through inspiration, where you naturally become good, when your sense of happiness and joy comes through. And 12th house is spiritual house. So a lot of you might have another 6 months to turn to something spiritual, to get in connection with the higher power, to have some mystical experiences as well. 12th house is the invisible worlds. So when you have Jupiter transiting the 12th house once in 12 years, there is more support from the invisible worlds, from departed loved ones, mother, father, grandmother. You might even feel the presence in moments when you're having difficulty, someone like in the last moment saving you right now and helping you, directing you. So a prayer will be much more powerful during this period when Jupiter is in your 12th house, because you're like the line between the visible and the invisible world in your consciousness is closer to the invisible world right now, and your source of happiness, joy, and benefits are coming from the 12th house, which is the invisible world. If you don't believe in that, then the more mundane meaning of 12th house is expenses. So Jupiter there, you might be spending a bit more, and that can be a source of happiness for you, because Jupiter is always a source of happiness and joy. Well, even if there is some expenses that you didn't expect, somehow you'll be able to make it, But it's great time. 12th house is the house of going away, basically faraway places, and retreating from the material world, the busy world, the hustle and bustle of the world. So for some of you, it might be a great time to go to ashrams, or to go to spiritual retreats, on yoga holidays, or to go on a trip around the world. It will be beneficial, and you'll learn a lot. You expand your understanding, and It's also kind of introspective period, introspecting and turning within yourself, maybe through observing yourself, through meditation, through prayer, can be a source of great happiness and growth till the middle of the year for you. And afterwards, uh, from the middle of the year, Jupiter is going into your first house. It's going into Cancer. So 2013 Cancer, it's a big, big year for you because Jupiter will be in your sign once in 12 years. So this is when the big starts in your life will come. Predict that a lot of you will be starting on a new path. Jupiter passing the first house is when you find who you truly are, when you find inspiration to follow your true path. First house is your path in life, what you're supposed to do and be your true destiny in life. And when Jupiter transits the first house, you're inspired and you see the truth. The higher self shows you what you're supposed to do. So a lot of people rediscover themselves, find their inner calling. A lot of them find their career. They feel inspired to start something new. It will be a great time for new beginnings in your life, in a positive, inspired way from the middle of 2013. And especially those of you who are born from the 22nd of June till the 13th of July. The Jupiter will be passing over your sun, so it is a new opportunity for you for career, maybe improvement in your career, fulfilling of your goals and long-term desires as well. The sun rules your goals, you rules your career, so there might be authority figures, so there might be growth and expansion coming in those areas, successes in your career, in your businesses, anything. The sun is anything masculine, which basically is the masculine side, which is the creative, the career, the goals, the successes, the grand things we achieve in life. And Jupiter transiting the sun, those of you born from the 22nd of June to the 13th of July, will bring you great success in those areas. It's the time to be great. It will be the time to shine and be great for you. Or those of you who have their ascendant or moon from 0 to 20-degree Cancer, they will have Jupiter transiting the ascendant and the moon. When Jupiter transits the moon, this is when people might relocate, buy a better, bigger house, have something improve in their family home life, because the moon is the home life. The moon is also the soul of the person, the inner world. So the state of consciousness improves. They become more positive, more uplifted, more inspired. Also the sun, if Jupiter is transiting over the sun, this will happen. Confidence, more faith within yourself, new opportunities coming to you. When it's over the moon, relationships can improve with women, or any kind of relationships can be a source of happiness, and you might meet someone very important right now. Travel becomes a source of happiness and growth for you as well. And Jupiter transiting over the ascendant, as I said, it's putting you on a new path in life. It's helping you find who you truly are, bringing new opportunities for you. It's just amazing. I see people just start their life and blossom all over again and feel confident and happy within themselves finally. And I just want to warn you, those of you, so it will be your time, Cancer, from the second part of 2013. I'm very excited for you because Jupiter feels strongest in Cancer, and Jupiter is the strongest planet, the best planet in astrology. So for Cancers, it always tends to give the best things once in 12 years, which comes now. And those of you who are born, I want to give you a few days from the particularly born from around the 30th of June till the 5th, 6th of July, or even a day before, from the 29th of June to the 4th, 5th, 6th of July, they have Pluto-Uranus transit, which is a life-changing, or those who have their ascendant from around 7 to 13 degrees, so their moon from 7 to 13 degrees in Cancer. They're having Pluto-Uranus transit as well, and this transit is very powerful. It's extremely life-changing. It's the most memorable thing that will happen in your life. It will put your consciousness on a totally new level. Some of you might have even an opening of the third eye, so of the third chakra. Some of you might be having a totally transformation of your life, changing completely, new careers, new relationships, new everything is like the out with the old, in with the new. And people who are holding on to the old might go through big catharsis and big crisis in their life, because it's like everything is taken from you, which gives them their source of identity, and what they think is who they are is taken away. So a new identity is given to that. But losing your old identity and your old relationship to a lot of things whether it's material or identifications in your head of who you are and what you're supposed to be, it can be a very painful process and period. So I'm warning you that for some of you might be a big crisis that comes, but which eventually brings you to who you truly are and brings you a higher, more expanded state of consciousness and a new opportunity to shine and be who you truly are. So thank you so much, Cancers, and please write to us what is happening.